All right, I want to try something just a little bit different here. So, guys, I want you to keep rolling. Steve, you weren't expecting this. If you could, please come in for just a second. Here's my idea. Thank you. I know you're a little bit embarrassed. This isn't your favorite place to be, so thank you.
Sure.
For walking so willingly over here. So here's the idea. You've been a producer. We fondly call you Producer Steve here on the show because we've had some other Steves, and that just became easier not to for confusion. But your background, one reason, huge reason that we really wanted to work with you, and we've really enjoyed having you here. You've been producing these shows for over a year now. Background from Sun. You've done more corporate video at all levels. My assumption is that you've seen every level of presenter, good, bad, ugly, and everything in between. And so a while back, I don't know if you remember this, but we were just going through some different ideas, and you were giving me stuff, your kind of things you just didn't care for. And so I was finally thinking of calling this Steve's Peeves.
Okay.
You all right with that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I thought in the standard top 10 list type of thing, I picked out 10 here that I thought we would go through, and so hopefully these would still be on your list, and thus working with me hasn't created another list I'm not aware of. But then number 10, going backwards, one video will not solve all your needs. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's a common thing that folks are like, we need to make a video, and that one video is going to solve our marketing needs, our PR needs, all these different types of things, that this is one thing is going to fix everything. And one video doesn't. You know, creating a series of videos or a series of training or a series of communication videos, that's how you communicate to an audience. One video is not going to fix everything. You
know, I don't know if they're not talking about this as much anymore or if I'm just not invited to these same meetings, but you're reminding me of these marketing meetings where you're like, we just need to make a viral video. Because as soon as one little thing takes off with dancing babies or whatever it may be, everybody in marketing is trying to figure out, that's all we've got to do, and that'll be the holy grail of a video, and we'll all retire early or something. I don't know exactly what's supposed to happen at the other end.
You can't make viral videos.
So one video will not solve all your needs. That was number 10. So number 9, how will your audience view your video?
Yeah, knowing how your audience is going to see your end video is rather important. I mean, if you're going to show it on a web clip, or you're going to show it in a theater, you're going to show it at a big stage event, or on a monitor in the cafeteria, those decisions of where it's going to be seen can determine how the video is going to be made, how big the graphics are, how much information's on the screen, how it's shot, is it fast motion or slow, or those types of things. So knowing where it's going to be seen can determine how it's made.
I think it's interesting that you bring that up, because my assumption would be that people are already thinking like that, but you've obviously put it on the list for a reason. So this is something you've been having to ask a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people are just like, oh, yeah. And it's like the light bulb turns on. How are people going to see it? Because they get so enthralled of making that video is going to solve all their problems, and they got to make this video, but they never worry about how the audience is going to see it.
Oh, that's a good point. All right. I like that. Let's see here. Number 8. That was number 9. So number 8, keep it short enough to tell the story. Is that, hold on. Now you're laughing as if maybe that was added to the list after working with me.
No. It's the thing is that a lot of times when people make a video and a group or a panel of people are involved in the content of it, they're like, well, if we talk about this, we have to talk about that. And if we talk about this, we have to talk about that. And all of a sudden it's, a 30-minute video when it's supposed to be about one topic, and it only needs to be 5 or 6 minutes long to get that information out. So know what your topic is and stick to it. Don't have it grow into everything in the kitchen sink.
Yes, I can't believe people would ever do that. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. This feels very personal again. Number 6, or excuse me, this would be number 7. Stay on topic.
Again, you're gonna do a video and you want to pick a product or a service or a piece of training. Again, you don't want it to expand. You want to stay on the topic you want to cover. Otherwise, you're down in the weeds, and all of a sudden you're covering everything, and people watching the video going, "What is this about? I don't know." So stay true to what you want to say in the video.
All right, next one here on the list. This is funny because I know this is a pet peeve of yours. Green screen. Yeah, see, you already know where I'm going. Green screen does not solve all your problems.
Yes, technology. Everybody thinks green screen and the cool technology, that makes video easy, but that's not necessarily the case.
Explain how green screen works, because I do think that I would still be guilty of oversimplifying things that on their surface appear very simple because green replaces things with anything you want to, right? And except for the person that's there, and boy, wouldn't that be just magical?
Well, that's the thing, is that there's a lot of technical side of green screen. There's the actual green screen, the lighting, the setup, and the cameras, and how that's done. And there's also the back end of actually the compositing, removing the green, putting other images in. To do really good green screen, you have to consider what's the final image when you're lighting it, so that the light on the green screen looks like you're outside in front of the Eiffel Tower. But, you know, you always see bad green screen all the time, and doing it right is an art. So it does take time to set it up, and it takes time to do the back end work. It's not like you just flip a switch and the video's done, and also I'm in Paris.
So it's been my experience, and also working with you, that I've learned that some of these questions that you ask about where's your video going to play, and some of the things you would talk about way before in the planning phases, if you will, that becomes one of those where sometimes someone says, I want to do something on green screen, but what you find out is that no, green's really not what you need. You're actually adding more complexity to it than you realize. You told me one. I just want to bring this one out real quick because there's a company out there that makes ads that are popular for having a very simple background.
Yes, I did a video once. They were like, we want it to look like a certain company's ad on white, but we shot it on green to put in white. We spent a whole lot of time keying it and everything else. When it came around again, I said, why don't we just shoot it on white and it's done? And I was like, wow, yeah, that's a good idea. So green screen is not always the answer.
You're a genius. You should be a producer. All right. How about this one? Teleprompter is not that easy.
No, it's not.
Have you done teleprompter? How can you say that?
Yes, I have. I've been in front of the camera trying to read it and actually running it, which is actually difficult as well, because especially people who jump off prompter, you know, staying with the lines and staying with the lines and keeping it going is not that easy. It's actually an art form. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of experience, and you have to do it a lot to get used to it. There's speed, there's variances, all kinds of things.
Not to mention people being able to write for the spoken word versus the written word, right?
A classic example, I had a guy come in once. He was very nervous. He had his prompter. He spent a lot of time writing it, and it was part of a series, and he literally stood up in front of it, said, hi, my name is insert name here. And one of the key messages, he was just reading it as it went by. He didn't even click. So
he had a Ron Burgundy moment. All right, San Diego. Okay. Here, look at this one. A 5-minute video does not take 5 minutes to shoot. Correct. Or to do anything else, probably, right?
A lot of people think, oh, it's only 5 minutes. It's going to take 5 minutes to do.
Seems logical.
Well, you know, there's a lot more to it. I mean, there's all the setup. There's the cameras, the lighting, the sound, which, you know, a lot of times people don't experience because they come in, it's all ready to go. That takes time. But then there's, you know, shooting it and shooting it well, doing a couple takes, rehearsing it. You might have cutaway shots. You might have to shoot additional footage of products. You might have slides or other types of things you use in your show. And you might have to do a couple of those a few times and get those elements to put together to make an interesting video and a good video. So usually 5-minute videos don't take 5 minutes. It could take a half day. It could take a day. I mean, sometimes you look at a motion picture and they might shoot 2 minutes in one day of a film.
Don't you love it when the people you're working with always have all these crazy ideas they want to implement at the last minute?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you looking at Tina? I saw you look over there. Not to mention names. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Speaking of Tina. Be prepared. Be over-prepared.
Well, don't be over-prepared.
Oh, not over-prepared. I need to read my notes more closely.
There you
right.
go.
Okay, so that's obviously...
Again...
the preparation's good, I would think.
Well, knowing your subject and knowing what you're going to talk about is key coming into the show, but you don't want to have it memorized word for word. It's not like you're giving an address or a speech where you got to have everything down. If you're a subject matter expert, you just want to talk about it. Talk to the host, discuss it, go back and forth, keep it conversational. Otherwise, it becomes very robotic, very slanted, very kind of like nervousy. Just kind of loosen up, just be yourself and talk.
Okay, real quick before we run out, our last two. Know your audience.
Know your audience is key. Your audience is interested in technology. You should be creating a technology show. Your audience is interested in monster trucks. Do a monster truck show. But know what they want and design your programming and shows around what your audience is interested in and give that to them.
See, we disagree on this one. I think it's about doing what I want to do.
Well, sometimes.
We'll see. All right. Actually, we have a bonus question here. We'll go for number one. Edutainment is key. Have some fun.
Again, making a show that's entertaining, just like we do here at TechWise, and it
is entertaining, darn it.
But the thing is, it's keep it entertaining, keep it light, keep it going, and then people get involved in it, and all of a sudden they feel like they're watching a TV show, and then they're learning something by accident, and that's what makes good programming.
Well, listen, thank you. You've been a good sport.
No problem.
Thank you for letting me drag you in. The crew's breathing a big sigh of relief that we took you off the off the backhand. So anyway, thanks for spending time with us.
No problem.
Let's get back to the show. Go, go, go.